Hello everyone, I'm Dante and welcome to another Anthem update. It's no secret that the Anthem VIP demo launch hasn't been the smoothest, with a multitude of connection issues, from logging in, matchmaking, friend codes, and lagging gameplay. For many, this has meant they've been stuck on loading screens for 90% of their time in-game, assuming they could even get that far to begin with. On day 2 of the demo, we saw many improvements, though many of them didn't get patched in until late in the day. On the back of them, we had 2 updates. The first, covering all the general problems from the support team. The second, a more official response from Chad Robertson, the head of live services at BioWare. I'm going to start with the briefer of the 2. The EA support post details the issues they've seen, what's been resolved, and what is still outstanding. So, for the good news, Xbox One players being unable to access the demo, secondary Javelin unlock bugs, and issues with accessing friend codes all resolved. I'll leave the link for this page below so that if you're still having these issues, you might have a solution on the guides provided. For anyone that's been dealing with rubber banding issues, these have partially been resolved. Though they might still occur, they should be less frequent, with 2 more issues unfortunately still outstanding, including the infinite or 95% loading screen. These are still occurring, far more often for some. The last has some workaround, but apparently several people can't even get past the Anthem initial load screen. This is caused by the account not recognizing a VIP code, and it should be resolved by logging into your EA account, which will trigger the pre-order information to update to the correct status. The second article from Chad is a lot more in-depth in terms of reasoning and methodology rather than being focused on the solutions. He's tried to explain why they happened at all, along with some stats about the first couple of days. One he specifically wants to counter is the claim that the login servers couldn't handle the amount of players. From what he says here, the login servers are more than sufficient. They've actually overplanned for the login issues, which are often the downfall of any large-scale launch. So what did cause these issues? Chad has split the main culprits into 3 categories: platform connections, entitlements, and infinite loads. The first, platform connections, has almost identical symptoms on the outside to login servers failing. Instead, these are related to internal networking systems. The spike in volumes of players broke a system that had survived all their internal stress testing, including the closed alpha, which is why it came as such a surprise. I think this might be the matchmaking issue I referenced yesterday, where the system hits a critical mass that doesn't occur under usual loads. The entitlement issue is primarily seen as being unable to get past the main load screen, or generally being unable to log in, and refers specifically to combinations of purchasing options. Entitlements referring to the rewards you receive. For some reason, depending on how you ordered the game, your combination of rewards from it would lock you out of the system. It has mostly been resolved, but this one seems like a very strange internal issue. Perhaps some combinations weren't taken into consideration and ended up by blocking itself within the system. The final of these core issues is by far the most prevalent, and can happen to almost anyone even after they've overcome the previous 2 issues. This was a known issue, but only in specific isolated cases. A combination of strain on the networking and the differing combinations of networking speed for people across the world caused this issue to multiply drastically. This doesn't sound like an easy fix, and clearly highlights an issue with their networking in general. Out of all of the issues, this is probably the most troubling in terms of how hard it could be to fix. I know the team at BioWare is working hard on this, but out of everything, this could be the most impactful come launch. So what are they doing to resolve these core issues? The first 2 parts are mostly complete, with some of the final areas just needing to be cleaned up. I expect these to be resolved well before launch, perhaps even by the next demo. When it comes to loading screens, this is complicated, and being worked on, and if they're being realistic, it's far harder to implement significant changes during the demo. So I don't see this being fixed right away. They are going to need to shut down the servers for major maintenance, whatever that might be. I'm in no way an expert, and if the head of live services says it's difficult in a public statement, that has me thinking we might not even see this fixed by the next demo. Rather, they'll be trialing their fixes in that time. I've got mixed opinions when it comes to these issues. On the one hand, they should probably have done more intensive testing to identify these issues, with closed demos even if they were under NDA. On the other hand, networking for games on this scale is hard and encounters issues that are impossible to predict. I've seen online products launch from the other side, and sometimes code that has passed all tests suddenly hits a threshold that previously you didn't even know existed, or has a knock-on effect to something else that affects your user experience. So I want to cut them some slack. In the end, I fall somewhere in the middle. Could they have done more? Probably. But what really matters at this point? Is it that they failed, or is it how BioWare as a whole reacts to difficulties? To give them the benefit of the doubt, they've been open with their issues, have explained what has gone wrong and why and what they plan to do about it, while owning up to the issues at hand, and in the real world, that's what you should do when a mistake happens, whether you directly caused it, or if it was a failure of the process. I'm interested to see what side you come down on. I'm by no means trying to be a shill or apologise for BioWare, I'm just trying to take a balanced approach before I write them off just yet. The final update regarding the VIP demo is the addition of a new set of VIP vinyl rewards in the main game. They're nice and appreciated, but I'm pretty sure people would like an extra day of access to the demo. This is a complicated issue to resolve. I'd love to hear your opinions on their response and how they dealt with the issues. Have they done enough? Or have you lost trust in BioWare to deliver on Anthem? That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Provide your thoughts and feedback about anything I've covered or the format below. You can support the channel by subscribing and using the bell to be notified of future content as it goes live. And until next time, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.